Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you a 2 versus 2 on Merderet, and in this one I'm going to be playing with the 3rd Fallschirmjager, joined by Jagdsauce today, who's going to be using his Puma variant of the Panzer. And on the opposing side we have Mantell, hopefully I'm saying that right, apologies if I'm not, and No Fighting in the War Room, who are playing the 2nd Infantry and the 7th Armoured. So let's go ahead and get some troops down. I'm going to be taking the left side of Merderet today. This is actually a map that works relatively well for the 3rd Fallschirmjager. The only issue that the Fallschirmjager can have is if these engagements occur at 100 meter range in these forest areas, especially at the beginning of the game, when your Fallschirmjagers aren't actually that good at close range, because they only have the 6 HE available. Since your MG42s cannot fire within 100 meter range. Anyway, let's get down some command. We're probably going to use 2 commands at the start. I'll put one there on the left side. We'll put one sort of towards the mid. So that's what we're going to do. They have quite big radius, so that will work for us. So we'll just probably unload it on this side of the river and run it across into the tree line. I'll have one Fallschirmjager go with the one on the right side. And we'll need one Fallschirmjager for the left side. If I can get into the back of this tree line, I can actually use the engagement range quite well. I'm also tempted to have a Fallschirmjager try and push through on the left side, like the very left side here, through the orchard, because that's where Fallschirmjagers can be very, very strong. The other thing I could do is probably focus on bringing in some L6s early on. The L6s are really good for killing off enemy half-tracks, but we're not actually going to be up against many half-tracks since the 2nd Infantry relies on rifles a lot of the time, as well as the ranger units that don't come with half-tracks. And the 7th Armoured does have motorized rifles, but is probably more likely to use desert rats in this sort of environment, so that's what we're going to kind of have to work against, as therefore things like the Stuarts are more likely to come onto the field rather than half-tracks, and in which case I'm going to need something like the Pak 41 Galley here, which I think I am going to bring into the main road. Or I could maybe rely just on Panzerschrecks. That could be another way to do it, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get it into a decent position early on. So I think we'll go for the Pak 41 Gallic into this orchard. We'll unload that there. Then I will also have some Fallschirmpanzer Abwehr squads, since they are very, very good. They do come with that Panzerschreck that I was mentioning. We'll have one of those on the right side here with the Fallschirmjagers. We'll have one on the left side, of course, to provide us some recon there. We need some infantry for the mid here as well, so let's just go for maybe a 3rd unit, actually, of Fallschirmjagers. Yeah, if I can get to the edge of these tree lines, it's not actually that bad. That's okay. And we'll bring in one L6 to go with us, just in case I can make a breakthrough. And I'll bring in that last Fallschirmjager for the far left side if I can make it there. We'll see. I might just unload it with the Fallschirmführer behind here and then move to the left sooner than later. Now the other thing that I'm going to do is bring in a mortar at some point. I also need to start investing into my ME109 G6R6s, because one thing I haven't actually talked about with the 3rd Fallschirmjager just yet is that they are very dependent on maintaining control in the skies. It's actually really, really important that you do so. I'll just have a Fallschirmjager deploy short then. That is fine. Looks like Jagdsauce is just focusing very heavily on these Pumas on the right side, which could backfire, especially if he comes up against the high veterancy Stuarts of the 7th Armoured. I mean, it's not so hard for me to defend against that, especially with Panzerschrecks. It's not like he can rush me easily. Just hope this Fallschirmjager can get up that road, because otherwise it will take a while to run over there. That is fine. Okay, so far so good. It's going to unload and we're just going to push into the orchard. We'll unload the Fallschirmführer here. And these guys can go in there, that is fine. Let's unload the Fallschirmjagers here. Just need to get these guys into position. Okay, that's going to be a mortar fire coming in, which is unfortunate. I need to make sure that I'm not in 100-meter range when that pins me down. Otherwise, I am in trouble. We do actually have the command there anyway, so it's not like it's going to surrender us, but still kind of awkward. I'm going to have to invest in my own mortar to counter theirs. Alright, let's unload these lot. A little bit sloppy with that, for sure. I think I'm just going to stay this end with the Fallschirmjager and so on, because yeah, the Ranger assaults are going to come through. And I can pin them down very quickly with the Fallschirmjager's machine guns, so that's good. And now we can be very aggressive with the Fallschirmpanzerabwehr at least. Hopefully I don't take another bit of damage there, that's good. Right, now we'll push aggressively. Keep my Fallschirmjager off to the one side. That's okay. So that's a decent engagement, let's now push up. I'm going to bring my L6 all the way over to the left side and we'll use that to help push up with the Fallschirmjager. Okay, these ones did get pinned down in the end. But at least these Fallschirmpanzerabwehr are not pinned down. I'm going to try and find the Rangers if I can. Okay, that didn't work. Alright, we'll just stay back where I was then. And I'll probably bring in the Fallschirm sharpshooter, because that will help pin things down very quickly. Cool, so we're holding on the left side for now. I just need to get something that can counter that mortar. I'll probably bring in a second mortar, just in case. And I'm also going to start investing in my anti-air so that I can invest in fighters. I may as well use the Kubel MG. It will be out of range of the Ranger supports, whilst being able to use its 3-star veteran CMG, so that's great. If it can. Okay, it's just out of range, it's fine. Lovely. Job done. Get that Flak 36 in here. Oh, the Kubel got mortared. Whoops. Probably shouldn't have let that happen. These guys should not be rushing forwards like that. They were following their previous order, which is not ideal. I guess I do need to worry a little bit about Ranger Marauders, for sure. But we're making ground on this left side, which is good. I knew that the Fallschirmjagers would work well in this scenario, so I'm glad to be using those. And we're going to try and keep those mortars pinned down if we can, although we are playing up against the second, so it's actually very difficult for us to do so. Because they're going to have way more artillery than we do. Bring in an ME-109. Don't know if I'm going to be able to catch that, but we might do. Never mind, I'll use it on the left side. Right, that is a Bofors, so I'm going to have to take care of that for sure. At least my Fallschirmjagers are still pretty much good to go. I'm just a little bit worried that my Fallschirmjager is not nearby, because I feel like they're going to get surrendered if they get pushed on. Could be really bad. The other thing I should do is make sure that my mortars are spread out a bit. Let's move back the Pak 41. On this left side, the rifles are going to be pinned, that's fine. Let's just move into the orchard. Hopefully I can pin down the Ranger assaults. I don't know why that's not really doing too much, it's really annoying. We got him, it's fine. Okay, let's fall back here. Go with the mortars again. Well, as long as the sharpshooters are alive, that's all I'm worried about. It's a lot of mortars. I mean, I didn't actually expect to come up against this much artillery early on. I might just off-map it. Oh, look at that damage. Alright, we surrendered the Ranger Assaults, which is more than good enough. Alright, let's now move the sharpshooter back up. Well, we'll bring in the off-map. Hopefully that will get the job done. I keep finding these Fallschirmjagers are in like really shit positions. It's really silly. Let's move up. Okay, the Fallschirmjagers were taken out. That sucks. Gonna need to replace those. I am seemingly getting decent value for money. Yeah, which is good. I might actually be able to take out this M4 as well, especially if the rifles are falling back. Shit. That's not good. Gonna put smoke on top of that M4 so that my Fallschirmjagers might be able to get out alive. I could probably move up the Pak 41 maybe to the left side a bit. Alright. The main way I'm going to deal with that M4 is probably just HS129, but I need to make sure that the Bofors is dealt with. I mean, at the moment I'm struggling to make any ground because I don't have Fallschirm Pioneers to really fight effectively through the trees. So the things like the Ranger Assaults are really taking advantage of that at the moment, which is unfortunate. One thing I can do is try and make more ground on the left side again with another concerted effort with the Fallschirmjagers, especially if I utilise the Pak 41 Gallic and the L6 to maybe try and kill that rather than a HS129. That's the only other way that I can see me doing this. These Fallschirmjagers, man, they're so good. Especially at that range, it's just like the perfect range for them. Annihilated that unit. This one's not going to be long for this world either. Oh, they're gone. So we're doing a lot of damage, which is good, because it's weakening their defences so that I can, later into the game, do very, very well. Myself and Jagdsauce are both playing divisions that really play well into the late game with the 145 income and the 150 income. So that's something that I can maybe try and rely upon in order to make some ground here. Let's try and go for the kill onto the M4. If the Pak 41 just pushes into the tree line there and then I push out with the L6, I should just be able to kill it. An internal fire. And it's dead. Nice. And now the Fallschirmjäger can push up aggressively again. I do have some more of them coming in, which is good. Let's have this one fall back. And if I can get the off-map onto this, then I should. There we go, job done. Won't see it coming, hopefully, and then I can just get simple kill. Okay, we'll bring in another Fallschirmjäger to the left side. I'm going to bring in a couple of Fallschirm Pioneers to the center. We're going to move the Fallschirmführer over to the left side. Okay, the Fallschirmjager just got taken out in that one shot. That's unfortunate. Right, let's move this back up. Okay, we took out the mortars, I think. That's good. Or at least we took out one of them. This range is just so good. Is the Jagdsauce saving for a King Tiger? I think he might be. We're bringing another Fallschirmpanzerabwehr on the right side. I'm going to try and keep this Fallschirmführer alive from now on, so I'm not going to push too aggressively with it. I'm just going to keep it behind the tree line. Oh, we found another mortar to blow up. That'd be because there's some sort of recon in this tree line here, like opposite us, just causing us issues. I mean, as long as I can see them firing, I don't really mind. Because it just gives me targets for the off-map. It's like the only thing that I'm doing with my off-map is killing mortars. Like, that's the only reason I'm bringing them in. Oh, on that right side, it looks like the Jagdsauce's opponent just surrendered, which is unfortunate. But, yep, we killed the duck, which hopefully killed the artillery next to it. Jagdsauce playing too well, apparently. Maybe he just got annoyed that his plane got shot down, but I mean, it's not like he didn't have any troops. I mean, technically, Jagdsauce is in a pretty tough position there at the moment, just waiting on this King Tiger to arrive to push into the late game. So I haven't really relied too much on my Air Force just yet, but I have the Flak 36 in if I want to start pressing with that, and I should probably bring in another couple, honestly, if I really want to be secure when I start strafing. Because ideally, in like a situation like this, every time I open up into an infantry engagement, I should be strafing, if I know that it's safe to do so. The trouble is, at the moment, the reason I'm putting it off is because of the Bofors, but at the same time, I could probably just use the MU-109 to reveal the Bofors. That would probably be the best bet. Well, there's also a xylophone, so I could probably go for that. Okay. That's fine. Oh, no. That is not fine. I don't know why it flew so far. That was kind of irritating. But we did discover where the Bofors are, which is, I guess, one thing that will allow me to potentially get another couple kills in here. And I think the xylophone was here somewhere. So I'm going to try and off-map that if I can. We'll clean up that Bofors. Right, we'll send that off-map back to base. Invest in HS-129 since Gabby just came in. I do need to keep line of sight on it though. Turn it off so it doesn't fire at max range. And that's not going to work. Because the off-map hasn't hit yet. That was kind of dumb. Oh well, hopefully my Pak 41 can... Nah, it's not going to do anything, not to the front armor at least. I was hoping maybe it was angled just enough, but it wasn't. And there goes the Bofors, that's good. That's what I was looking for. Could get a Stug to like hold the left side and then push aggressively with the Panzer L6s, because if I move the L6 over to the right now, the M4 coming around this will be wary of the AT guns, so I might be able to take advantage of that. Let's make sure this AA unloads. That Flak 36 can be seen? It must be recon that I don't know about. Like behind my lines. Unless the recon's here and it's seeing my Flak 36. That would probably be more likely. Oh, hello, Ranger Marauders. Need to take those out if I can. Gonna move the Kubel away so that if I get counter batteried it doesn't just blow up both of my mortars, that would suck.
Wir sind bereit, Herr Kommandant. Panzer vorwärts! Marsch! Zielpunkt erreicht. Raus mit euch!
If they're both fire, then I may as well let them. Oh, okay. Never mind. That was shooting at something else. Whoops. Okay. Hit those rifles. Hopefully I'm blowing up that Ranger Assault. I am. Good. Oh, let's keep running. Run them all the way back to the Fallschirmjagers. Wait, how did they get pinned as well? That's not good. Right, I'll move the Fallschirmjagers on this right side over so they can cover the crossing if they have to. And yeah, well, my sniper just took out the last of the Ranger Assaults, that's for sure. Good. Right, now we counter push. We absorbed that nicely. That lightning was a little bit off. Not quite sure what that was going for, but sure. We're only winning a +1. I think Jagdsauce is slowly but surely cleaning up the AI though. Right, let's push up on this left side. Get some more Fallschirmjagers in here. We're now into phase C, so we have more income. I'm going to bring in my off map so that I can start counter battering again. Oh, the lightning got shot down by my AA. Okay, that's good. Fallschirm Pioneers went down as well on the right side. Let's replace those. Yeah, we've been getting some really good kills in here. I need to get rid of that Bofors though, if I can. Go on, Stug. Show him his boss. Shooter knockout, nice. There's another Bofors. Right, come on, Stug. You can do it.
Abschussring mehr. Achtet auf Piraten.
I'm just gonna pull into it. That should be fine. Yeah. We're good. Right, the Stug can push forwards. Is that xylophone onto my blimmin' Fallschirmjager? Why you have to be so mean to my units there? That sucks. Right, let's get the Goobel to drop some arty straight on top of that mortar back there. We'll also hit the Bofors if we can. Mortars everywhere. Might be able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone if I put this right. Let's put it there. And that will hopefully do quite a lot of damage if the shots land in the extreme. And we can start pushing up here as well. There's more to that. Okay, let's have those guys fall back. Another xylophone strike. So much artillery. Really is. I might just have my Stug advance on this left side. If I can kill the Bofors with the Stug, that would be great. Yeah, coming in with a couple of L6s will give me some flexibility. Well, there we go. 107mm mortar down. And both of the Bofors on the left side are actually relatively close together as well, so we could maybe just hit those with off-map and keep the Stug back for the time being. These off-maps are going to have a nice amount of kills, I think. Let's put it there so we can potentially kill whatever that is. Yeah. There comes the xylophone. Alright, let's move that Fallschirmjager back up. These Fallschirmjägers can just stay back. My poor Goobel is dead. It's unfortunate. Must be some like really odd recon, unless it's just because it's so close to the front line they can just naturally see it. I don't know. Either way, we should open up the skies soon. There's an M1 gun down, that's good. There is actually the M5 gun there. I don't know what's... Yeah, there is something definitely spotting my troops. It's like the Fallschirmpanzerabwehr getting direct artied is kind of odd because I should be able to see what's spotting me, ideally, but... Oh well. That is probably an M10 on the main road.
Fallschirmjäger zu Diensten, Hauptmann. Zug ist einsatzbereit. Wir geben auf.
Well, that off-map didn't even touch that Bofors. That's unfortunate.
Wir sind hier ein leichtes Ziel. Bereit zum Feuern, Kommandant.
It's actually an M4. Okay. We'll bring up a Stug for the main road. And I think it's time I finally got rid of these Bofors once for all, and we'll focus on just more Fallschirmjägers for the left side.
Erster Zug zur Stelle. Flak führt Stellungswechsel durch. Verstanden. Knochensack sitzen. Panzer vorwärts. Marsch.
L6 is going to fall back in front of the M5 gun now, unfortunately. Oh, nice. Internal fragments. That's good. I'll take out that Bofors, please, and I can start to bring in the heavy guns. Yeah, see, there's no more AA. We finally got there. With Jagdsauce coming in with his SDK Z251. We actually, yeah, finally made it. This is the breakthrough that it was kind of building up to, like in the sort of late game. Regardless of whether or not Jagdsauce came in here, I still feel like this would have happened eventually. Because it's been getting to this point for a long time where I've been trading very well with the Fallschirmjägers. So that's kind of what you want to be doing with the MU109 G6R6s if you're ever using a third Fallschirmjäger. Third Fallschirmjäger isn't actually a division I'm particularly good with. I've actually been asked to play it in the comments, which is why I'm playing it today. But I feel like if you use the air support effectively, you get the strafing runs in, it can be very, very strong. Alright, the Jagdsauce should be able to pick up that, although the P-47s are very fast. They have that going for them. Bring in another one. I'm out of fuel there, so Jagdsauce can claim those kills. But let's have the Fallschirmjägers continue to push forward. You can see I still have loads of infantry left. So we can start to invest in that to continue our advantage here. The main thing I need to be a little bit careful of is AT guns, since all these hedgerows can conceal AT guns very well. For example. Yeah, let's bring in a new Fallschirm Pioneer on this right side and a new Fallschirmjäger. Oh, hello, Bazooka. Well, that unfortunately didn't do its work for the opponent. So move forward to these Fallschirmpanzer Abwehr. We need to make sure that our recon is ahead with us. And I'll bring in maybe a couple more just to help us out as we continue. Well, that xylophone was a bit off. Must have been 2 xylophones by the amount of rockets that came in there. Imagine if that had hit this lot. That would have been very bad. And now we got the Puma crew pushing through. That is 5 Pumas. Really? Really, Jagdsauce? Now it's just a matter of cleaning up whatever we come up against then. 7 minutes until victory. It's been a relatively long game, but it's just held back by artillery. It is something that is actually quite common on Merderet. Let's move through with the L6s. That L6 will do a lot of damage. And we'll have this Fallschirm Pioneer just continue all the way up. Good. Now I should probably actually move up the AA. I didn't even think about that. Just reversing there quickly because of the M5 gun sneaking its way across.
Was gibt es zu tun?
Let's make sure that I've got my ME-109s in mission.
Jagdflugzeug bereit. Ich hab ihn. Rückwärts, rückwärts, rückwärts. Wiederholen Sie, Gefechtsstand.
Probably buy another one just so that I have that there available if I can.
Ziel zerstört.
Well, we've got an M1 gun down. Unfortunately, we're not going to get that M5 gun anytime soon.
Warte Anweisungen.
But we are on the back of the P-47, so that's nice. And it's not going to be pinned, so we're good.
Information. Verstanden. Auf dem Weg. Der ist erledigt. Wiederholen Sie, Gefechtsstand. Die haben uns hier festgenagelt. Lageinformation.
My poor Fallschirmjager. Go on, steal that kill from Jagdsauce. Okay. Alright, let's have him fall back. Doug managed to take out the Sherman. That's nice. And another P-47 Thunderbolt. Unfortunately, I don't really have anything else to bring into this fight.
Was können wir für Sie tun? Das wird ein Kinderspiel. Stillgestanden.
We can continue to move up on this left side, which is something I intend to do.
Mal sehen, wo die eisernen Kreuze wachsen.
Let's move these guys through. Now that off-map's gone.
Kehren zurück zum Fliegerhorst. Mache mich auf den Heimweg. Höre Sie klar und deutlich.
There's no command on this Rhino, so we can just surrender it. There we go.
Zug ist einsatzbereit. Leiter, mir nach. Der ist erledigt. Die Besten der Besten.
Clean out this tree line.
Ihre Befehle.
Have my units spread out a little.
Jawohl, Hauptmann.
There's probably like a bazooka, a couple bazooka teams, right?
Marschbereitschaft hergestellt.
No doubt. Yeah. Unloaded after being in the Jeep. Couldn't see it. Dice to the dice to the bazooka. Oh man.
Schlachtflieger bereit.
Alright, let's kill off all of these units. Oh,
Ja, Hauptmann.
leave some for me.
Zu Befehl, Fliegerführer. Rabe 4, bereit zum Angriff. Schlachtflieger bereit. Jawohl.
Got him.
Das hat gesessen. Leitstelle, bereit zum Angriff.
Okay, there we go. Job done. Let's continue pushing up here. There is still the Rhino, but its engine destroyed. That's good.
Hauptmann.
Didn't realise it got engine destroyed.
Den Feind.
The dominating air force can finally take full effect, which is nice.
Hauptmann.
Had a little push from Jagdsauce, and we managed to make it work.
Zur Stelle.
It's good.
Verstanden.
Now I can just bring in the ME-109s, we can strafe stuff, surrender it all. The Pumas should just be able to run this down soon. I think there is a 50 cal in the Chateau, so it's something we're going to have to be a little bit wary of, but the bazooka's not getting anywhere near my Stug anyway.
Jawohl, Hauptmann. Für das Vaterland. Verstanden. Ende.
Keep moving this AA forwards.
Indianer voraus, bereit für den Angriff. Jagdflugzeug bereit. Zeit für ein paar Abschüsse. Lageinformation.
Okay, that is a dead P-47. We're going to have a lot of points after this game, I feel.
Zu Befehl, Kommandant.
Bring in another HS-129.
Flieger bereit.
Start putting some damage onto the old Rhinos.
Auf wen haben Sie es abgesehen?
If they get too close, then we could Panzerschreck them, but that's actually going to be the end of the game. And after 36 minutes and 55 seconds, I think it was a rather convincing victory. 2,520 kills to 1,495 in the end. I guess it was a lot of infantry engagements more than anything, wasn't it? So not a huge amount of kills, and it looks like Jagdsauce came in and picked up the majority of the tasty bits in the back line. So 4,960 kills to 1,295 losses for him. Also, we've got to remember that the AI took over on the right side because the chap on the opposing team left, which sucks. It really does. Because obviously his teammate is not going to be too happy about that. But definitely put up a good fight. It was, I feel, going in my favour with the Fallschirmjager trades for the most part. It's just that artillery was kind of holding me back from being super aggressive with infantry at least. And in the early game, of course, the M7DDs were the ones that kind of counter the use of the Panzer L6s. So that was a struggle, but as soon as I got the Stugs into position, I killed off the M4s. That was good. The Pak 41 Gerlich actually managed to claim the 2 kills onto the M4DD. The 210mm off map took out 2 of the mortars for me. Also took out one of the Bofors, so that was a pretty nice off map that I brought in there. This one did get rocketed before it could do any more, but I did manage to take out the 107mm mortar and the M1 gun. I feel like there should have been a couple Bofor kills in there, but it completely whiffed when it came down to killing the Bofors, so that was unfortunate. But in the end, yeah, relatively solid game, and it gave me an opportunity to talk about the 3rd Fallschirmjäger and play them again for you guys, because it's not a division that I play too often. Either way, hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.